Using marketing techniques to spread the gospel makes message less spiritual.
Myth.
Myth. The gospel is competing with memes, skits. Do you think that the church is losing its influence?
God has given everybody the message, and how you push it out is very important. If memes or reels or all of these things were available in the old times, trust me, it would be used. I know they say that we are not of the world, but we use the things of the world to convey the message. Moving to the ABC of marketing, I would love to say the 5 W's.
The ABCs of marketing, or should I just say marketing demystified. That's basically what we're talking about today in today's episode. Welcome to OnHerOwnLane, the pod, season 3. And with us today, joining us is Fikayo Jegede. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome, you're welcome. And we're just talking about, how marketing can be so big. It's such a big word when you see, and today's episode is going to demystify it in the best way possible that we can, And let me give you a little something about Fikayo. Fikayo is a digital creator, and she's a strategist using culture, storytelling, and media to communicate the gospel in a powerful and relatable way. And she's part of the creative team of the Street Church. So, you're going to bring us gems today from how, because the Street Church is big and they're doing fantastic, and it's really good to the glory of God. And the Street Church is a movement using digital platforms and creative storytelling to reach people who might never walk in the traditional church and the traditional space, to reach out to them. That is what we're called to do as Christians as well. And through her work and content creation in marketing, she is passionate about helping believers understand the power of communication, creativity, and strategy when it comes to spreading meaningful messages in the digital age. So how you can spread a meaningful message on your own lane. Marketing demystified. So let's move on. Welcome, Fica. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And today, the gospel is competing with memes, skits, competing with, reels, things that are always attention grabbing. And do you think that the church is losing its influence because, the message is being quote unquote filtered down, basically, when it comes to storytelling and in what you do?
I don't think the message is filtered down, okay. Right? I honestly think that to each one its own, right? God has given everybody the message, and how you push it out is very important. If memes or reels or all of those things were available in the old times, trust me, it would be used. Yeah, do you understand?
True,
so we are not really we're influencing the culture. Right? I know they say that we are not of the world, but we use the things of the world to convey the message, how it's supposed to be, really. So I don't think that the message is weak. Okay. I think that all these things can make the message look weak in itself.
Okay.
Right? Sometimes, because a lot of people think that memes and all of those things are unserious. So using them changes the narrative. And it doesn't change the narrative for people who have not met Christ or people who have not been in. It changes the narrative of really Christians, because we believe that the gospel it shouldn't be watered down with memes and all of those things. Yeah. But if this is going to pass the message across properly, it should be used. I think memes should be used every time. every time. And let's go into a segment that I like. It's called Truth versus Myth, or True or False. Okay. Like 3 to 5 seconds. I'll ask you a question off the top of your head. You don't think about it, you just answer. Okay, so let's go. Using marketing techniques to spread the gospel makes message less spiritual. Myth.
If your message is powerful enough, you don't need marketing.
Myth.
Christians should avoid modern culture in order to protect the gospel. Myth. Virality and authenticity doesn't exist. Like, they can't coexist.
They can.
They can. So myth. Everything was just myth. So it's a good thing. You know, that also shows that every single thing can be used and should be used.
Yeah.
And should be properly used as well. So let's move on and let's start with your story. You know, how was your journey into digital creation? And then what led you to be a creative writer in the street church? And at what point did you realize God was calling you to use your voice for this particular lane?
Okay, so I think my journey to marketing, let me just start with my journey to marketing. I never wanted to be in marketing. I just wanted to be a presenter. In fact, I wanted to be a camera person. Really, I just wanted to be behind the camera, just to make videos. I think I did my internship at TVC. Okay. At the time, I was one of the camera operators and also video editing. I just started. It was internship, of course. So I didn't see myself in marketing. I interned at School FM. At the time when I interned there, it was supposed to be. I was supposed to be in the studio now, as I'm supposed to be, but they didn't take me to the studio. I used 6 weeks in marketing, sales and marketing. They moved me to. I spent just 2 days in the studio. Really. So they took me around everywhere, writing news. So I went everywhere. Yeah. And then where I actually wanted to go to, I just spent about 2 days. I know Esteem and Gold is Wazobia, Nigerian Info, and Cool FM. So I had to, in those 2 days, I had to touch base on every single thing. So my experience I really wanted at the time wasn't forthcoming. But I spent. And I didn't know that God was calling me into marketing and sales because I spent the longest time in sales and marketing at the time. And I didn't know why, but I mean, I just wanted to intern, you know, so I took the role. And fast forward to 2019, when I had finished NYSC, I was looking for a job. I got a job. Someone just told me on Twitter to, you know, come for an interview and all of those things. And I went for the interview. And the marketing manager saw me. And then she goes, what are you here for? I did the whole interview. I went behind the camera. I went in front of the camera. They did the interviews and all of those things to see what I could do. And then someone just saw me and said, I think you should be in marketing.
Really?
And the person that introduced me to you was a Muslim at the time. So she said, I think you should come into marketing. Think about it. Okay. No, she didn't even say think about it. She just let me go. And then the HR called and said, oh, would you like to do marketing? I need a job, of course. I'm going to do it. Please. So I didn't join marketing because I had the flavor. I didn't even know what marketing was at the time. I didn't see it, but you know, I learned on the job, and from there it became something that I knew that this is what God wants to use. You know, I wasn't creating content when I was working, when I was in marketing. I didn't really understand the need until I got to church, and then we had the social media team, and my pastor called and said, we want to break social media into two, the content and the social media, and I want you to head the content team. Wow. To be honest, I had no experience whatsoever with content. I wasn't creating content. I wasn't even on social media that much. I would come and then run away. I wasn't social media savvy like that, you know. And then he said I would create content. Not even create content. Lead the content creation team.
Crown, like it's you.
It was a new department, so of course I started learning. You know, anything I see. I didn't even have a good camera at the time, so it was somebody in my department that would use the camera, would stay in church, finish creating content. Everybody had gone home. We're leaving church by 3 o'clock because we had to edit the content. I couldn't edit, and that was how I entered into marketing and digital content creation.
It's funny how your story, you looking back, you know, you would think that everything was just a coincidence, but where you are now and where you are, what you're doing right now, you can see that now God was really leading you. He was leading you knowingly or unknowingly to where you are today, and it's really a beautiful thing to see God working and unfolding the pages of someone's life, and to see that it is a beautiful testimony to His love for us. So thanks for sharing your story with us, even though we'll still get more of your story. But the street church, you know, moving on to the street church, they have such a strong digital presence. They have such a strong branding, and what they're doing is really good. You know, can you just break down for the person watching who wants to go into marketing and they like, you know, what they're doing? Of course, they can see the excellence that they're doing. What are the ABCs of marketing? You know, let's just demystify this thing right now, because when you hear marketing, you're like, it's a lot.
Okay, so for street church, I've been a bypasser for Street Church for a while. I mean, just think of content. I just called the person, the CEO, founder at the time. So I joined Street Church fully last year. And one thing I would say is Street Church is churching the unchurched. Right, we are reaching out to people like you had mentioned, the people who necessarily do not get access to traditional, church per se, and all of those things. So moving to the ABC of marketing, rather than ABC, I would love to say the 5 W's.
Five W's
and one H. 5 W's and 1 H. So I have a book I wrote about the 5 W's and 1 H of marketing, and it's simply, if anybody who did communications or mass communication, you probably did a course called feature writing, and if you did feature writing, they told you about the 5 W's and 1 H. That's the what, the who, the where, the why, the when, and the how. And that's the simplest way you can break your marketing, your branding, your life generally. So what are you on about? Why particularly are you doing what you're doing? Why are you conveying this message? Who are you conveying this message to? And particularly, who is also on your team that would help push out this message? When timing is very important. Very, very important in anything you want to do, in pushing out content, in pushing out your message. Timing is very important. Where you want to push out this message, and how you want to put out this message. That's the execution itself. How do you want to do it? So I would just break it down into the 5 W's and 1 H. So once you have these things written down, it's just very simple. You get to see that, why exactly? Because a lot of people don't know why.
They just want to do
they're doing certain things. And it's okay not to know why. But along the line, you need to implement a why. Because you can't just keep working. You need to impact. There's something you are giving back. And for marketing, you are probably helping to solve a problem. So there has to be a problem. In the case where there is no longer a problem, it's just about you, you won't see the growth in it. So there's definitely a lot of people have a why problem. So before all of these things, you need a why and a what, and then you can begin to put
the when,
and all of those things.
So based on your years of experience, what are some of the common mistakes that you see entrepreneurs make when they're trying to grow their business online? What do you see that you feel like should be avoided?
I think what they don't do, like I said before, is they don't understand why they're doing what they're doing. A lot of people are just, how you just, have money and then, I just want to start a business. I start a business and it's growing, and then you hit one place and then you're like, so what exactly? Now why? I gave an example one time. I do a content on social media, and it's called Sunday School. So I teach people marketing and branding, but through the eyes of Jesus. So it's very important. So I want to say, I'm selling wigs, for example, and I say, I sell wigs. There's somebody selling wig, and the person says, I sell wigs, I sell bone straight, bust down, double drawn, and all of those things. And then there is someone who says, I helped a woman get back with her husband.
Wow. And
then you want to be like, that's
tell me. You want to know the story behind.
You want to know what exactly
what product or what did they do?
How did you why did she even leave her husband? Why did her husband leave her? Why? It is a lot of questions, and then you are helping to solve questions. You're letting people know that confidence would help you. How can you get this confidence? Your hair is your crown. You want to, so all of these things work together than just saying I sell wigs, right? So it's always very, very important to know. They need to know what story they are telling, right? A lot of entrepreneurs and a lot of businesses, a lot of content creators as well miss that. What exactly are you selling? A lot of people are just being selfish. It's just about me, and me. There's more to you than just you. There are other people that need to tap from you.
So I go to the Christian Center. One of the things Pastor Reverend Sam says is your life is too important for it to be just about your life. It's not just about you. So it's a big thing to really step outside of yourself and think about others. But when you also in marketing, I think you also have to, because they say when you're creating a product, don't create a product for yourself. Create a product for someone else, because you're not your own customer.
It's not for you.
It's not for
so
you.
You're solving a problem
for someone else.
it could be that you have had the problem, right? For example, I always say that Dangote is selling sugar doesn't mean it takes sugar.
Sure.
Right? A lot of people are doing so many things. I could decide to sell weed, doesn't mean I would wear anyone.
Sure.
You know, I'm more important about the people that I want to help, a problem that I want to solve. That's the most important thing. Once there is a problem, there's always a solution. You know, I have a friend recently, you know, she's getting married, and then she's looking for shoes. She has gone to Lagos Island, and she hasn't found what she wants. And then she said, you know what, I'm going to make my shoe. And from making her shoe, she wants to help other brides make their shoes. You know, why go through all that stress? Let me ease that stress for you. So that's a problem there, and that's a solution that she has found. You know, it's like I said, it's just a problem that you're solving. At the end of the day, she's not going to be a bride anymore. It's going to be beyond her. But there are people that would benefit from the solution that she has provided.
And then there's also a story in that as well. And that also moves us to our next question about storytelling. You know, the importance of storytelling, because you always hear this, oh, you must always have a story, you must always have a story. You know, how important it is for storytelling to be part of your branding, part of you solving the 5 W's and 1 H, and also for you to be able to build your digital presence online. Is it very important? Because everybody always wants to say, okay, this is what I went through, but is it really important? Is there a way you can also position yourself without putting everything out there?
Storytelling is very important. Jesus told stories.
True.
He mentioned about the parables of the sower. You could ask anybody and they will tell you. You can ask them a story or ask them about the Bible, and they'll tell you about a story that was told in the Bible. You know, they can tell you, if you ask anybody, they can tell you about the 10 talents. It's a story that you can relate to while passing the message across. Do you understand? So storytelling is important. Yes, there are ways that you can break the storytelling. And it doesn't necessarily mean that it is the founder or is the owner that has to tell the story. Do you understand? It doesn't always have to be. If I look at Nike and I see what they do, they know how to tell stories of doing. Just do it. They know how to put it in your face. They use sports to tell you to just do it. You know, they know how to make all of these things. You look at, if you look at iPhone, think differently. They always come up with something different. It might have been done in other phones, but to them, it's different. And they come up with it. Next, there's iPhone 18 coming now. We don't know if I have 4 cameras. You know, it's always different from the other. No matter how little it is, it's always different. Do you understand? So it's always very, very... Storytelling is very important. You cannot take storytelling away from a business. Once there is no storytelling, nobody can... People feel. I always say marketing is feeling. You can always tell when a content creator is being performative, and you can tell when a brand is being performative, when they're forcing things into your face and all of those things, and you can tell when your brand is being real. Do you understand? So it's a feeling. People feel things. It's just unfortunate that in Nigeria, once there is giveaway, people don't even feel. They don't even need to feel. They just take. But they can't come back because there is no form of connection. Whatever brought both of you together is the giveaway, is the money that you gave them. If you're not giving them money anymore, they're going away. So if you've not won any loyal audience or customer, they're always with you when there is something. If you push a product out, nobody's replying. But if you put, I want to give out 10 products, you see 1,000 comments and all of those things. So brands can't build they can't market based on that. They need to be able to tell good stories that relate to people, why I need to get this thing. You know, so a lot of people don't know why they need some certain things. They don't know that they need some certain things. So you need to tell stories to let people know that you need this thing, and you know, this is why you should get it. So that's why it's such a powerful tool. And when you said Nike, it's true. I can't watch a Nike. I'll be tearing up like, oh, so emotional, like really strong. They've gotten that. They've gotten that. That's the essence of storytelling. Thanks for that. So let's move on to creators in the digital market space. You know, creators today, they shape a lot more than, you know, the way it was before. So how, as a Christian influencer, can you balance that responsibility, ensuring that you're still bringing that same level of, you know, influence, and also sending the message of Christ to
the world, basically.
Okay. I would like to say that the message of Christ, the gospel of Christ, is very important. Who Christ is and all of those things, but it's displayed in our daily lives. Really, we can come and talk about what we've read in the Bible, but it won't mean anything if we don't act it out. It won't mean anything if people don't see it in us, right? First of all, before a content creator, you're a Christian, you're a believer, there has to be something fueling your work as a content creator. There has to be a spirit behind your work that you are doing, and it means that at every point in time you consecrate yourself, because as a creator, there are a lot of creators. Right now it's a digital economy. And then there is competition. There is, I want to be like this person, I want to have 1,000 followers. You can lose yourself while trying to get the benefit of what you do. So it's very important that you consecrate yourself every single time, and you understand why God has called you to this, or why you're doing this. Always very important. Always important that you make your confessions, because every day you're confessing that I'm not moved by the numbers. I'm moved by what God has sent me to do. There's a confession that you're always pushing out. It reminds you that, girl, you need to. Sometimes you forget yourself. You will forget. You want to be like this person. It's probably that time that they're calling you out for events, that they're telling you to do this, that you're having clients, and then there are people too who are doing it. So you want to show that, I'm also getting clients. But what separates us is we're under the instruction of God and obedience of God. You can't post everything. As much as I can decide that I can have, a multi-millionaire project.
Yeah.
I don't have to put it out if God says no.
Yeah.
You need to understand that there's somebody who has sent you to the world, and you always go back to give report. They've come to give me 14 million naira or 20 million naira. Can I announce it? Can I tell people? No, don't do that. You always need to stay consecrated and stay with God, at every single time, because they'll swallow you inside this content creation journey.
It's a very big ocean.
Yeah. If you're not careful, you'll drown.
You will drown.
And people do.
Yeah, they do.
People get depressed.
Yeah.
People get depressed.
It's funny how in the most connected world via technology, that's the highest rate of depression is.
I was at some point. I used to like, who's following me? I used to follow my numbers. I see 4,100 and something followers. Next I see 4,082 followers. I'm like, why people unfollow me? Am I bad? Is my content not good? And sometimes I always say, why does it not have so much views? I put so much energy into this. Why are people not sharing this one? Why? A lot of whys, a lot of I want to be. I'm like, I see somebody, I'm like, I'm doing better than this person. This person is getting more numbers. It happens as a creator. You will definitely feel it. You're a human. Right. All of these things happen. But when you remember that, okay, you know what? The journey it's a journey. It's a process. Take time. Her journey is different from mine. His journey is different from mine. So you need to always, so many times, understand that. Give yourself some slack. Cut yourself some slack. Take it easy on yourself. So yes, but majorly, importantly, always stay consecrated.
Stay consecrated. So, would you say that's the number one takeaway you would give for this episode to anyone watching?
As a believer.
Yeah,
because if you are not a believer, you may not understand what I'm saying. But as a believer, I think it's very important that you stay consecrated, even in your journey. It doesn't necessarily even have to be in the content creation space. In your workspace, wherever you are, always remember the child of whom you are, of whose you are. Always remember who you are, your identity in Christ. That way, it helps you to navigate your life properly, and you will not be depressed like every time.
Please don't be depressed. Be strong. So what would you say would be your one takeaway to anyone watching who is starting, just to demystify, that's the whole marketing structure, and someone who feels like maybe they want to go into this lane, or they just want to use it for their business? What's the one takeaway to give them? Okay, so like I said before, have your 5 W's and 1 H. Okay. Write it down. Understand it, soak it in, because that way, anybody that comes to work for you, they understand your vision and they carry it as well. If you don't have a vision, if you don't have a why, if you don't have where you are headed,
anybody that comes in would treat your business anyhow. You would treat your business anyhow, and people would treat your business anyhow. Your audience, your customers wouldn't take you seriously. You know, always ensure that your yes is your yes, your no is your no. Don't waver, you know, because people get bored and tired easily.
So basically, just stay consistent. Stay consistent.
Yeah.
And in closing, I'd like to know what success means or looks like to you.
To me, it's the impact on people. Okay. If I do things and it doesn't, I'm a people person.
So you're going to say I'm a people pleaser? They
No.
say no, don't say that.
I'm a people person.
Right.
I'm particular about people.
Cool.
Right? I believe that my life, people's lives are tied to my life.
Yeah.
I cannot mess up. I cannot do anyhow.
Right.
You know, so success to me is impact on people. Even in this marketing, I was going to do something on my story. I still did it on my story, on my Instagram story today, where I would ask people, has my content ever, you know, impacted you in a way? I need to know that people are being inspired, because I'm not just doing this for doing sake. At some point, I was doing it for, you know what, let me just do, because I'm posting every day for the rest of the year.
Wow.
Yes, and I've been posting every day. I'm like, sometimes I just post, let me just post, let me just do. But I hope that people are impacted by what I do. That's success to me, right? That people come out to say, you know what, my business, for my client, I always pray for my client. I just want their business to bloom, so that they always remember that, oh, there's this babe that handled my marketing, she did so well. That I want difficult situations where I have to tell my client that marketing couldn't solve it, only God could. Right. And then that way it brings people closer to God and whatnot. So yeah.
That's a beautiful, beautiful version of what success means to me. And what does success mean to you? And hope you've been able to demystify marketing for you today. Thank you for joining us, Fikayo Jegede. It was an awesome time and an awesome conversation with you. You handle our marketing rights for this one. Don't say, I knew she was going to say send the bill.
Send funds.
Send funds. Thanks so much for joining us today. Don't forget, don't stop walking. I was going to say, don't forget. Don't stop walking on your own lane. Be bold. Bye.